Hello, and welcome to the Let's Read portion of the show, where we take a moment to appreciate the literature of Skyrim. Today, we will be reading The Third Era Timeline. Third Era, an abbreviated timeline, the last year of the Third Era, by Jaspis Ignatius. It has been said the citizens of the Empire who make the same mistakes as their forebears deserve to suffer the same fate. And while this may be true, it's hard to deny that the Empire's history is so long and our forebears have made so many mistakes, it's sometimes hard to keep track. This work is meant to serve as a conscious compilation of the Empire's most recent events. In this, our current age, what we refer to as the Third Era, it is a period of time that has as yet comprised less than 500 years. But it should at least serve as a starting point for those who wish to study our empire's vast and varied history, and maybe, just maybe, prevent the repeat of a previous disaster. It is also worth noting that when viewed in such a succinct structure, one truly gets a sense of just how often our great empire has changed leadership. Indeed, it can be argued that much of the empire's history in this past 5 centuries is the changing rule of that very empire itself. First century. Third era, 0. Beginning of Third era, when all provinces in Tamriel are unified. Third era, 38. Death of Emperor Tiberius Septim, and crowning of Emperor Pelagus. Third era, 41. Assassination of Emperor Pelagus and crowning of Empress Quintera. Third era, 48. Death of Empress Quintera and crowning of Emperor Uriel I. Third era, 64. Death of Emperor Uriel I and crowning of Emperor Uriel II. Third era, 82. Death of Emperor Uriel II and crowning of Emperor Pelagus II. Third era, 99. Death of Emperor Pelagus II and crowning of Emperor Antiochus. Second century. Third era, 110. War of the Isles. Third era, 111. Knights of the Nine founded by Sir Emil Lenus. Third era, 114. Reported death of Empress Quintera II. Third era, 119. Birth of Pelagus III. Third era, 121. Uriel III proclaimed emperor. Third era, 121. War of the Red Diamond. Third era, 123. 23rd Frostfall. Actual death of Empress Quintera II in captivity in secret. Third era, 127. Death of Emperor Uriel III and crowning of Emperor Sepphoris I. Third era, 137. Death of Potama, the Queen of Solitude. Third era, 140. Death of Emperor Sepphoris I and crowning of Emperor Magnus. Third era, 145. Death of Emperor Magnus and crowning of Emperor Pelagus III. Third era, 153. Death of Emperor Pelagus III. Third era, 153. Quintera takes throne from husband Pelagus, becoming empress. Third century. Third era, 200. Death of Empress Quiteria and crowning of Emperor Cassander. Third era, 202. Death of Emperor Cassander and crowning of Emperor Uriel IV. Third era, 247. Death of Emperor Uriel IV and crowning of Emperor Sepphoris II. Third Era 249. Invasion of the Empire by the Lich. Cameron Usurper. Third Era 253. Cameron Usurper controls the Dwaynen region with Nightmare Host. Third Era 267. Defeat of Cameron Usurper. Third Era 268. Crowning of Emperor Uriel V. Third Era 271 to Third Era 284. Various conquests of Emperor Uriel Septim V. Third Era 288. Invasion of Akavira by the forces of Emperor Uriel Septim V. Third Era 290. Death of Emperor Uriel V and crowning of Emperor Uriel VI. 4th century. Third Era 307. Uriel VI gains full power as emperor. Third Era 313. Death of Uriel VI and crowning of Empress Moratha. Third Era 331. Publication of the second edition of A Pocket Guide to the Empire. Third Era 339. Assassination of Empress Moratha and crowning of Emperor Pelagus IV. Third Era 389. Jagathurn betrays Emperor Uriel Septim VII. Third Era 396. Regional wars throughout Tamriel. Third Era 396. The Arnesian War. Third Era 399. Defeat of Jagathurn. Third Era 399. The founding of Orsinium. 5th century. Third Era 403. Assassination of Lysandus, the king of Daggerfall. Third Era 414. Burdenfall territory opened for settlement. Third Era 417. The warp in the west occurs. Third Era 421. Greywing founds the Crimson Scars. Third Era 427. Beginning of the Blight Curse in Vanderfall and arrival of the Neravarian. Third Era 427. The Blood Moon prophecy comes to pass on the Isle of Solstein. Third Era 432. Publication of the third edition of A Pocket Guide to the Empire. Third Era 433. Assassination of Emperor Uriel Septim VII. Third Era 433. The Oblivion Crisis. Third Era 433. The Knights of the Nine are reformed. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Shadow's Let's Read the Books of Skyrim.